This week in Jamaica Now, the case of MP Phillip Paulwell's missing daughter and her mother takes a tragic turn. Messy situation, while Kingston's favourite crab spot has been ordered closed. 39 years and 6 months, that's the number of years leader of the Clansman-One Don gang Blackman Bryan will have to spend in prison. And calls for a St. James Road to be fixed after a bus with passengers plunged 300 feet down a ravine. I'm Jovan Johnson and this is Jamaica Now. We start with a developing story. The police have taken 4 persons into custody in relation to the disappearance of opposition lawmaker Phillip Paulwell's infant daughter and her mother. Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey on Friday afternoon disclosed that a female officer in the United States Navy is among them. DCP Bailey says the investigation has morphed into a complex case of kidnapping and conspiracy to murder.
The quality and potency of the evidence amassed thus far has led us to take into custody 4 persons in relation to this investigation. One of those persons is Miss Lehoda Bradshaw, a 34-year-old petty officer in the U.S. Navy. The investigation is still ongoing. However, it is at an advanced stage. We continue to appeal to anyone with information to make contact with us.
And late Friday evening, the police confirmed that they were investigating the discovery of 2 bodies in their probe of missing 10-month-old Saraya Paulwell and her mother, 27-year-old Tashina Patterson. The 2 were abducted from their home on Gilmore Drive in St. Andrew on September 9. In other crime news from this week, 4 women were shot dead in 3 separate incidents in Kingston and St. Andrew in the 24-hour period into Monday morning. On Orange Street in downtown Kingston, 31-year-old Anique Walters, the daughter of People's National Party prospective councillor candidate Louise Pumbles Newland, was shot dead Sunday night. A male companion was injured. The police have linked that shooting to a gang feud in the central Kingston area. And early Monday morning, Sophia Drummond and her daughter, Dominique Duhaney, were murdered at the entrance of the National Solid Waste Management Authority on Spanish Town Road in Kingston, where Sophia worked. And in McCook's Pen, St. Catherine, Angela Wedderburn and her partner, Darren Keppel, both Higglers, were shot and killed as they were on their way to work, also on Monday morning. And on Wednesday, 4 men were shot and killed at a restaurant and bar in Summerfield, Clarendon. The 4 have been identified as Harry Manning, his cousin Thea Manning, shop operator 44-year-old Kish Brown, and a man known only as Rasta or Tumpa. The police believe that Mr. Brown was the target of the attack. The crime wave continued on Thursday after the police confirmed that the principal of St. Richard's Infant School on Red Hills Road in St. Andrew was the target of a gun attack. The shooting reportedly took place at 6:30 a.m. at the educator's home on Sunrise Crescent, not far from the Roman Catholic Church-operated school, which shares a compound with the St. Richard's Primary School. And news came Friday afternoon that Vice Principal of G.C. Foster College of Physical Education and Sport in St. Catherine, Gibbs Williams, was gunned down at the Portmore Hospital complex. Head of the St. Catherine South Police Division, Senior Superintendent Christopher Phillips, says investigators are following several strong leads. The investigators have ruled out robbery as a motive.
Sometime after 11, it's reported that he went to the facility for an appointment he had. After he left the facility, he went to his car that was parked on the compound there, and after that person reportedly heard explosions. He ran back into the facility and collapsed. It was observed that he had what appeared to be a gunshot wound to the chest. He was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead.
Meanwhile, those major crime stories came as Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson reported this week that major crimes are down 13% for the period January to September 2023 compared with a similar period last year.
Murders were down 12%, which translates to 141 less persons killed. Shooting incidents down 9%, rape down 18%, and robberies down 17%. Interpersonal violence accounts for 21% of total homicides, while gang-related murders account for 66%. This is a shift from the 70+% attributable to gangs as our counter-gang measures take effect.
And the 15 convicted members of the Clansman-One gang were sentenced this week, bringing an end to one of the longest-running criminal cases in the region. The trial of gang leader Blackman Bryan and his cronies started in September 2021. Chief Justice Brian Sykes handed out sentences ranging from 18 months to almost 40 years. The harshest punishment, 39 years and 6 months, was given to Bryan, who was convicted of being a leader of the criminal organization and facilitating the commission of various crimes, including arson and murder.
The evidence shows that it doesn't appear that Mr. Bryan intended to give up his life of crime unless or until he was caught by the police, which has now happened. Given the way that the organization operated, it was one in which violence was a constant part of the way in which it conducted its affairs, and that violence extended to murder and arson and shootings. So the sentence now has to be disabling Mr. Bryan from being able to conduct this kind of activity for an extended period of time.
Meanwhile, St. Thomas pastor Stephanie Cole Christie was sentenced to 9 years and 9 months in prison for being a member of the One gang. Justice Sykes said it was clear from the evidence that the 48-year-old businesswoman, otherwise called Muma, was a critical member of the gang and had social skills that were vital to the organization. And the former Jamaica Defence Force soldier Jermaine Robinson was also sentenced to 9 years and 9 months for being a member of the gang. A former member of the gang had testified at the trial that Mr. Robinson was one of the bodyguards for the gang's leader. There is a call for the overhaul of Jamaica's food industry regulations after the Kingston and St. Andrew Health Department was forced on Thursday to shut down popular food joint Crab Circle over the unsanitary action of a female vendor. Food safety specialist Dr. Marva Hewitt says the country's food handler's permit is too general and ought to be specific to the food being sold. A video emerged on social media on Wednesday showing the vendor appearing to be relieving herself behind a stall. The woman says she drank a beer and was later afflicted by a bout of diarrhea. However, she is criticizing her colleague who did the video after the health authorities moved in on Thursday.
Me check said them are going to build a restroom somewhere up here, so I will rent some bathroom and make we here, people to come clean it up. There is no restroom. When I want people, sometimes we never can reach it down at my 5 family. We have to run over the bush. I would, so when they were out building it, we asked them, say, where's the bathroom? Can you see this party? He jumped them there with the water. We think it was bathroom because after them are building. And we said, it's not a bathroom. It's too jump, but that's also wash our hand and we can use the water. Water done out tight and nobody come and fix it back. A bad man, she bad mind me, you know. But me, I tell her, she can't stop me. No time.
So they're saying that if you guys get the facilities in order, food handlers permit and
I have a food handlers. I always have my food handlers. I have my friend them up there. I always have my food handlers.
So you're willing to go to the training and work with the authorities to get it open back up?
Yeah. The gentleman said, I call a meeting. That's to go back up. My sister worldwide something, you know, me there all over, and if you go to the airport, you see me picture put up in a airport.
So how do you feel now that video is
money
out there?
All of them where you see out there, so. And if a foreigner come, I just me then come too.
The area was reopened in April last year after a $13 million renovation by J. Ray and Nephew in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. It has since been disclosed that there is no water and bathroom facilities at the location. A man named Devon Holness is being sought in the case of more than 60 children from the Ocho Rios Primary School in St. Ann being rushed to hospital on Monday after eating sweets reportedly laced with ganja. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson says Mr. Holness is from Mansfield Heights in Ocho Rios, St. Ann. He says Mr. Holness may be able to assist with investigations. 2-month-old twin girl Tamira Denny was killed after her house on a hilly terrain in Bowden Hill, St. Andrew, collapsed on Tuesday morning. Emergency responders found her body after a near 4-hour search of the rubble. Her twin, parents and other relatives were rescued. Meanwhile, Patrick Gooden, a senior superintendent of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, lamented that only one fire truck was able to pass through a narrow bridge in the Airy Castle community to get to Bowden Hill. Tools on the other trucks had to be transported by other small vehicles to the scene. A man was killed and several other persons hospitalized after a bus in which they were traveling plunged 300 feet into a ravine after overturning on the wet Long Hill Main Road in St. James on Thursday. The deceased has been identified as 50-year-old Dillian Hines, the father of dancehall artist Topman. Most of the passengers were students. A first responder who reached the scene before the authorities said it was difficult to get to the crash site.
What did you see when you went down there?
Schoolers. Schoolers, them were try to get out and we try to help out some of them. It's a sad thing, you know, and you know, sad moment, you know, and you know, for us start at the school year and thing, you know.
Yes.
So, you know, let's just go and cheer
How
and
many
thing.
How many other persons were injured?
Well, to be honest, you know, I would answer like about 15 because you know your brain kind of mix up now because you try to assist everybody, you know. Yes.
So only 2 persons were there at the time. You and another driver.
Yeah, and the next man was coming now as well.
Do you know the driver who was in the accident?
Yes, I know the driver, but I don't really know his name that much. But I know the driver well.
I understand that a truck went
Yes,
down
before.
that same
Yes, couple more, about a month. Right,
Ago?
you're right, about a month ago.
So is it that there's no backing?
You're right,
wall?
you see, listen, and as I can say again now, you need wall there. Big wall. Because after the truck go over there, then take out the truck this Saturday, there was a crane that dropped over there after they have to send for the next crane. The road needs to fix.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says a sum of $331 million has been allocated to support mitigation works across Jamaica to contain the dengue outbreak. As of September 29, data from the ministry's National Surveillance Unit showed that the number of presumed, suspected and confirmed dengue cases increased to 1,117. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. Follow us on X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner, and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. Like this video on our YouTube page, turn on your notification, and subscribe today. I'm Jovan Johnson, and before we go, more from the scenes at the Heroes Circles venue, where Crab Circle was closed by the health authorities on Thursday.
We are going to try and do what we have to do as fast as we can, but that would also depend on their cooperation. They have to be willing to engage in further training because there are some types of behavior that we are recognizing in the space that just not acceptable.
What happened today? This are 2 times right. It can't be wrong. So 2 times right. It's a video gone viral. So this now gone viral. It has to be held. It can't be the worst because guess what? This is a foundation and from my and from I know myself also, okay, so my hustle down. So me sell the vendor them and the vendor them support me and me support back the vendor them at the end of the day. So the end of the day is when me I say to the media, that's why this is the media, the first me back up on the media. This is the media. When me I say to the media, somebody, anybody, send help from help the people then. That them can come out back at Christmas and come right down the corner, you know. And them have them loan, them have them bills. I understand this have to go into truth and right. So if this have to lock down, it's have to lock down.